Cool. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is reducing risk of avoidable harm. So that's things that you can do to minimize risk at a protest. So we kind of break it into two sections. So the first one is what to bring, or a few sections actually. So what to bring to a protest, like communication language that you can use at a protest. And yeah, those are the two kind of key things that we'll discuss, but it breaks up into smaller bits, which we'll also talk about. Cool. So the first list is about stuff that you should have with you when you go to a protest and some stuff that you shouldn't have. The first one is bus card. For obvious reasons, always carry a bus card with you. And also it's a good idea to know kind of which solicitor firm you're going to be using in case you get arrested. It's worth also saying that 99% of the times, or a lot of the times, people will go to a protest and just go back home and not get arrested. And sometimes people will go to an action and get arrested. And it's obviously unpredictable in a lot of the cases. But yeah, it's best to be prepared for that. And it's best to go to a protest being prepared for the chance that you will be arrested, rather than going in completely unprepared and not knowing what's happening. So yeah, to go back to it, bus card and know which solicitor you're going to be using if you were to get arrested. Some cash on you that can help you get home in case the police take your cards or your wallet, or you just lose them, for example. But yeah, take some cash with you. Minimal ID, and that also ties into the one above. Obviously, we recommend that. We recognize that people traveling and stuff might not be able to not have their phone on them, might not be able to not have their bank cards with them, or whatever else. But these are just kind of some general suggestions. If possible, do this. So yeah, have minimal to no ID on you. Cheap phone, sometimes referred to as a burner phone, but yeah, just a cheap phone that has no information on it. Minimal contacts for people that you need to be in contact with for transport and stuff like that. And also the back office number, and yeah, minimal phone numbers. Generally no valuables. That's just a good idea in case things get lost or taken, and then it becomes difficult to find them afterwards. So yeah, that's that one. No knives or drugs for fairly obvious reasons. Bring your medication, ideally in a labeled prescription kind of bag, or box, wherever it comes in. Yeah, and that will usually have the prescription, the dosage. We recognize it does have your name and address, but it's best to go with your medication than not having any medication. And yeah, that's the reasoning behind that one. A paper slip with the address where you're staying and some important phone numbers in case you forget. Let's say you travel to an action and you're staying with a friend and you get arrested and you don't know where the address is. It's a good idea to have that written down just so that you know where you're going. Sorry. Yeah, that is that one covered. Moving on to communication and language now. So yeah, we recommend secure and encrypted platforms, like Signal and ProtonMail. Whilst that doesn't guarantee that the police will never be able to access your information, they're much better than using other forms of communication. It's best not to use words like arrestable, organizer, or leader, just because for the first one with arrestable, we never know who is arrestable and who isn't arrestable. Obviously, some people put themselves at high risk of arrest by doing other actions and stuff, and people might put themselves at lower risk of arrest by going on a massive march, for example. But the risk of arrest is still there. It's not up to us to decide who gets arrested and who doesn't. The discretion is all at the police, at the police's hands, and they can arrest whoever they want to. Whether it be lawful or not is a separate matter. organizer or leader. The reasoning behind not using those words is because outlining people as like in charge or anything like that can put like a target on their back. So there might be other charges or other things that they can be arrested for, and it's best not to use that terminology in general, because yeah, it's non-hierarchical and all that stuff. So yeah, those are three words that you should avoid. There might be more, but yeah, these are the three ones that we thought of. Don't talk about like a role that you're adopting at a protest on social media. It's best not to say I will be doing this whenever. Just yeah, don't post about that stuff. Leave your smartphone at home. As we said before, that's just a suggestion. We recognize that people might need their smartphone with them and would be much worse off if they didn't have their smartphone. So yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. Make sure someone knows that you're at the action and knows what time you're getting back, for example. So yeah, that's just so people know where you are. And under 18s or people who are deemed to be like vulnerable adults by the police, it's a good idea to remember or have it written down, the number of an appropriate adult. And that's just someone who's over the age of 18. Usually they'll know you. Sometimes it's usually a parent or like a guardian or a carer. Sometimes like a sibling or something like that. But yeah, that is also worth having written down or put in your memory.